Right, I thought I'd do a video on MP's expenses, and you can actually search online and actually find out the latest details. Now there's something called MP's parallel expenses. If you search on that, it'll show you currently up to date what they've claimed for. Now my MP is Alexander Stafford, and what he claims for every month is £1,200 for his accommodation, £250 for his council tax. He gets his energy bills paid, so he doesn't have to worry about whether he eats or he heats his house for his family and children. And one of the other things is, I've noticed, like when he drives down to London or he drives back, I'm assuming it's just in one direction, so because it says he's only claiming for a certain mileage. So for example, if he drives back from London to his constituency, he claims £70-ish. Now for me that would be about 4 gallons, it'd be about 32 quid. So he's getting double the amount of allowance for driving anywhere. So if he drives enough around the country and backwards and forwards to his constituency, he'd never used to need to fill his car with actual petrol. He'd get it free through us. Now the thing is, MPs get about 82 grand a year, plus they get their expenses, they get a very good pension. Now what I can't understand is, if I work for a business, they'll pay my removal expenses, but they don't pay me to live anywhere. They just pay me the removal expenses. I move wherever I'm going to work, and then I have to pay for all my accommodation. I think it's really unfair. I mean, I don't believe that MPs are even worth the minimum wage, never mind 82 grand a year. I believe that if the MPs were any good, I'd be willing to pay them 100 grand a year, but I certainly don't believe they're worth 82 grand a year, plus a good pension, plus the expenses, the accommodation, etc. Because like Alexander's making a judgment on our energy bills when he has no worry over it. Whatever the energy bills go up, they've gone up 51% the last month, or last time in April, and they'll go up a further 81% they're saying at the moment. He doesn't worry about that, and then he makes a judgment call for us. But this is one of my favourite pictures in London. But my concern is, well, look at the shadow behind London. It's been taken over by the globalists. On the left is the Bank of England. I think it's the Corn Exchange in front. Could be wrong on that. But, you know, I've worked in the City of London, and these beautiful old buildings now are being overtaken by these skyscrapers behind. So at one bit London would have cared about us a little bit, but now it's taking over. Rather than our MPs making judgments and looking after us, the globalists are. When I worked for Midland Bank back in 1985, the guy from London used to come up called Mr. White. We call him Mr. White. He was actually a Methodist preacher. He had 10 kids, but he cared about us. Now he was he was actually on the board of directors and head of Group Telecoms, but he was actually on the board of directors and he'd come to Sheffield and shake our hands, but we called him Mr. Now you'll get these people appearing, coming up and talking to you, and you call them by the first names, but they don't care about you like the old guys used to care about you. Everything that we had as a banking benefit's been stripped away. But what you've got to investigate, and this is where this picture comes from, is the London City Corporation. They have a different set of rules to us. They didn't fold to William the Conqueror, and rather than getting into a long-standing battle with them, because they were actually within the City of London, which is the square mile sort of thing with walls around it, it came to a compromise with them that they could do a lot of their own tax laws, various things. So really the lobby, our MPs, they've got, you know, a lot of money behind them. So really one vote per citizen don't really matter when you've got massive corporations like this pulling the strings behind, and all our MPs are puppets to the London City Corporation and the globalists. So that's just a quick video on the MP's expenses. Any comments on that?